Hello and welcome. We're going to film in a different place today. My name is Colleen Hatch and I am the Assistant Teen Services Librarian here at the Woodmere branch. And I am here to show you guys how to do our craft kit, which is a crochet grocery bag saver. In the kit, you'll get a kind of little bundle here, which comes with some yarn, a crochet hook, a hair tie, and a stitch marker. So I'm going to kind of take you through, we'll start it and then kind of show you how to end it, and then in the middle, I'll cut and we'll work on that. So let me bring you down and I will show you how to get started. Alright, I'm going to do my best here. I am a crocheter myself, but sometimes I find it difficult to talk people through how to do it. So hopefully I make this nice and clear for you guys. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and find the end of the yarn here. And we're going to start with our yarn and our hair tie. So the first thing you want to do is to make a slip knot, which you do by making a loop and then pulling the yarn through the loop like so. Alright, then insert with your right hand, insert your crochet hook through the loop. You can kind of pull it a little bit if you want there. And we're going to make the base of our bag saver around this hair tie so that when you pull out the bags, it's got a little elastic to hold them in place. So you start by, I kind of put my hair tie on the hook like so, and I hold it in place with my finger. And then I take the yarn and I hook it behind there and I pull it up like that. So now I have two on my hook. And then I pull it through the loop like that. So now it is attached, and we're going to do one more. They call it a chain. So you bring it, I kind of bring my hook this way, hook the yarn, and pull it through like that. So for your second chain here, one more time, we're going to bring it like that. So we're going to do kind of hook it where your hook is on top of the yarn, and it kind of comes across the top and you pull it through. So now we have two chains. So that is our first stitch. Then we want to crochet 29 more double crochets around this hair tie. To do a double crochet, you wrap it around the hook once like that, go underneath the hair tie, pull the yarn around again, and you should have 3 on your hook. Then you grab the yarn, and go through 2, and grab the yarn, and go through the other 2. And that is a double crochet. So let's do it again. Yarn around the hook, under the hair tie, pull the yarn up like that. We got 3 on our hook, through 2, through 2. So there's 3 one more time. We've got hook it so it's on top like that, behind the hair tie, hook. So there's 3. Pull it through 2 hoops, pull it through 2 hoops. And now I've got 3 double crochets on my chain 2. So we want to do this for, so there's 30 with this chain too. So I'm at 4. I'm going to do them real quick here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Grab more yarn if you need it. 15, 16, 17, 18. Oops, dropped it. 18, 19, 20, Alright, now keep in mind, I've been crocheting for years. I do not expect any of you who are new to crochet to do it this fast. 21, 22, 23, 24, whoops, just pulled one out. So let's try it again. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. All right, and then we're gonna count and make sure we're actually right here. All right, so each one of these little loops here is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That looks right to me. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to attach the first crochet to the last crochet. So we're kind of gonna maneuver this around a little bit because we want them all the way around it. And then we are going to do what's called a slip stitch. So a slip stitch is just a stitch that joins things together. So what we want to do is on the top here, there is a little loop right here, which is at the top of this chain 2 spot, which is right here. So we're going to put our hook through this loop. You can kind of see where I'm at there. And then we're going to pull it through. So there's 2 on our hook, and we're going to pull the second loop through the first loop. And it just chains it together like that. All right, now for the next row and the next many rows, we're going to double crochet all the way around. This is where our stitch marker comes in. So this marks the first stitch in your row, which is where I just joined. So we're going to hook this through the stitch to show us where we're at, like that. Alright, and now we're going to double crochet all around. So when you start a new row, you're going to want to chain 2. So that's just wrapping around and pulling through like that twice. And then we're going to start our double crochets. So you're going to wrap around, you're going to skip this first hole and go to the second one because this is already our first stitch. So you're going to put it through. There's like 2 little loops on top. I don't know if you can see that. And then there's a hole underneath it. You want to go in this hole like that and pull it up and through with 3 on your hook and through the first 2 and through the second 2. Okay, so again, this time you don't have to chain 2 because we're already going. Wrap it around your hook, go through the loop, pull it up, through the first 2, through the second 2. All right, and then you're going to continue that all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and I'll finish this row and then we will come back. Okay, I'm kind of back to the beginning and I realized a couple things because I'm not a newbie to crochet anymore, and I feel like I did not really explain to you guys very well. So when you hold a crochet hook, all right, so I'm gonna put it kind of in. I hold it between my thumb and pointer finger, and I kind of use these fingers just as a support. Actually, I end up kind of guiding with my index finger and holding it more like this, I suppose. Now, there are different ways of holding, and some people find different ways more comfortable. This is just for me. And then with my left hand, I'm using it to kind of hold the string tight. I just kind of hook it between 2 fingers so that I can keep it nice and secure while I'm crocheting. So again, my apologies for not explaining it a little bit better. I have to remember that not everyone knows what they're doing already, which is awesome. I would love to teach you guys how to do it. All right, so I went all the way around here and I'm kind of near my stitch marker. So I've got 1 more stitch until I hit this stitch marker. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then you can count to make sure that you're good. So remember that this chain counts as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, 30. We're good. That is what it should be. If you lose a stitch or gain a stitch, it's not a huge deal. If you lose a stitch, you can, in the next row, just pick a double crochet space and do 2 to get that stitch back. If you gain a stitch, you can skip a double crochet to get back to the right number. I would say if you're losing more than 1 or 2, you probably want to back up and redo that row. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out because obviously we don't need it for that row. And we're going to, again, slip stitch to the top of this row. So we have a complete circle. So you go, again, through the loop and wrap around and pull 2 into 1 just so it connects them together like that. Alright, so that is row 2. So what we want to do is continue this for lots of rows. I saw, when I did it last time, let's see, what did I write down? I did about 23 rows because you want to leave a few rows worth of yarn for finishing it off. So I did like 2 rows of decreasing just to make my handle and kind of close it off at the top. So remember when we start a new row, you chain 2 by wrapping and pulling through, and that's your first stitch. Skip the first one, go to the second one. Wrap around, through the hoop, pull it through, 3 on the hook, through the first 2, through the second 2. And you work all the way around. We can mark, excuse me, my stitch marker got hooked underneath. Alright, so we can hook to the top of this chain row to show where we're at. If you're an experienced crocheter, you may find that you don't really need the stitch marker. I don't usually use them, but it is really helpful when you're learning to make sure you know where you're at. So we just continue working all the way around with the double crochets. If you've got this kind of variegated yarn, you'll get some interesting color changes. If not, sometimes the solid yarn is good for keeping track of where you're at too, especially when you're just starting out. But either way, it should not make anything harder for you. Alright, so I'm going to cut and do my rows. I'm going to do the 23 and kind of see where we're at. It's going to kind of depend on how tightly or loosely you crochet. I've seen both with beginners. When I was starting out, I did everything way too tight, but I've seen it the opposite. So if you hate how it looks, the beauty of crochet is all you got to do to undo it is pull. So you could always start over if you just really don't like how it's going. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and work on this, and I will come back when I've done my rows, and we'll see what we need to do from there. Okay, so I've gotten the bulk of it done here. This is 26 rows. I'm really trying to push as many rows out of this as I can, and this is what I have left. So hopefully it's enough. It's always kind of hard to gauge. If you don't have enough, like I said, you can always back it up. All you gotta do is pull and it unravels. So let's finish this up. So what we're doing now is we're decreasing a little bit at the top, just so it kind of has a definitive, end to it. So we're going to start decreasing this. So we want to start the way we normally do, by chaining 2. And then this time, instead of doing a double crochet in every double crochet, we're going to do 2 and skip 1. So you always skip the first stitch, 1, well, and then this counts as 1. So 1, 2, and then we're going to skip 1. So this one here, we're going to skip. And then we're going to do 2 again. 1, 2, and lose my hook, and skip the next one, and work all the way around like that. So 1, 2. Now this is a little bit harder to do, so hopefully by now you've kind of gotten the hang of how it feels, because it does pull a little bit more when you start skipping stitches. Okay, And then we're going to skip the next one and do 2 again. 1, 2, skip 1. All right, and this should take you from 30 to 20. So that's the idea anyway. Skip 1 and go on the next one. 1, 2. And it doesn't, if you end up with 21 instead of 20, not the absolute end of the world. We're just trying to decrease it down a little bit to make it a little more manageable. So there we go. Talking and crocheting and I'm messing myself up. All right. If you are new to crocheting, your first project is probably not going to look like this. I decline to show anyone my first couple crochet projects because they are awful. So don't be discouraged. It just takes time and practice. So there's my last stitch here. So it looks like I've got it all lined up correctly. All right, and then we're going to connect back up to the top here, just like we have been with the slip stitch. All right, and I'm reading my own directions here. Okay, so now we're going to start forming the handle. So you're going to just do double crochets again. Start with the chain 2 stitch, and then we're going to crochet just 1 in each double crochet for 15 stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, situating here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then what? I should have 5 left, right? Alright, so let's see. I'm just counting and make sure I have what I need here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's actually 14 plus that chain 2. So if you did 15, not the end of the world, but essentially it's 15 with that chain 2. Alright, so now we're going to form the actual loop of the handle. So what we're going to do now is we are going to chain 15. So remember, chaining is just wrapping around and pulling through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to connect it where we would normally connect to the beginning of a row. So we're going to go to the top of that chain 3, and we're going to connect it there, like so. And then you have a handle. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab my scissors and show you how to tie that off and show you one with bags in it and kind of do the last little finishing touches. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I actually went back off camera and added a couple rows because I'm just a sucker for using every bit of yarn. And I've got literally just the tiniest bit left, but you don't have to do that. I'm just particular. Alright, so we're all done with this. So what we need to do is tie it off. So you want to leave a little tail here and cut it. And we want to thread this through that loop and just pull. That forms a knot and that will tie it off for us like so. And then just take some scissors and trim it, not so close that you're cutting the knot, but pretty close there. like so. And usually what I like to do, and this is optional, is I like to flip my work inside out because I just think it looks cleaner. I'm going to cut off this beginning tail a little bit too. So I'm going to flip it inside out because I think the stitches look cleaner on the inside than the outside, but that is totally optional. It does kind of hide your beginning tail though too. So that's another bonus. So we're going to kind of flip that inside out like a sock. And there we go. So there is the completed. And then I'm going to bring it up here and I'm going to show you the one that I made that's actually full of bags. So let me bring it back up. Okay, hey, we're up here. Okay, so this is the one that I just made and it is complete and good to go. And this is the one that I made before. So what you do is, so we're at the hanger up here, you fill it full of bags and then you can just yank them out. So when you come home from the grocery store, instead of throwing away or recycling all your bags, you can leave them in here for when you need just a quick bag on the go. Now as you can tell, everyone's a little bit different. This is the one I just made, and it's got quite a bit thinner yarn than this one, which is interesting because they're the same brand of yarn, but everyone's a little bit different. I said this one I did 23 rows, this one I ended up with 28, I think. So it's just a little bit of trial and error too, and you can always just back up and undo rows if you need to. So that is this project. I hope that I got some clear directions for you between this, the pictures, and the videos online. But if you have issues, you can stop in and we can try to help you out as well. So thank you again, and come in and pick up this project and enjoy the rest of your summer.